Alrighty. All right. The mic should be good, guys. The mic should be good. Welcome back to another episode of the Everything Everyday channel hosted by Daryl Long. And shout out to the very few people that's here consistently and actually believe in the vision that we have here. Because the one thing I always find is striking, especially as a black man, when we're trying to do bad, it's almost like we got everybody's support and we're trying to do good, it's almost like we have to literally beg and grovel to get support. And then the things that shouldn't get support get the most support. Not going to go into particulars at this very moment, but I just find these things to be very, 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 very crazy. Now, something that I don't normally do is talk about race. I just it never really bothers me. And let me tell you why. I grew up watching black women have non-black partners. I grew up watching black men have non-black partners. See how I kept it balanced there? At the end of the day, the one thing, hold on, I'm my own sound engineer. I'm everything, the thumbnail maker, the fucking story writer, everything. But to the topic. Um the reason why I never gave a fuck about the conversation around race in particular when it's surrounded by dating, because it always come back to one thing and one thing only, which is money. It never, like the video that we're going to review this evening by a black woman, and I'm going to try to finish the entire review. My battery on this laptop may die, so I'm turning this camera all the way down, right? Hopefully it works. Hopefully, whatever. If it doesn't, I'll do a part two. In this video, it seems like the only, like, she brings up Michael Jackson, she brings up Barry Gordy, she brings up I'm freestyling before I go into the script. She brings up a plethora of different black men, Lionel Richie, I'm saying literally a plethora of them. All of which and then she brings up obviously Diana Ross, and she talks about how these different individuals, black families have, been destroyed, blah 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 blah. And she's calling it, where I guess people on TikTok has coined it as the Diana Ross-ification of the black family. Now, when you scroll through Diana Ross's family photos on social media, you'll notice something striking. The legendary Motown icon, who was born to two African American parents in 1944 in Detroit, Michigan, now has grandchildren who appear, if not actually, but they appear phenotypically white. Um, her parent tree, or sorry, her family tree tells a story that's become increasingly common in America, and it sparked one of the most contentious conversations today in the black community, which is pretty much about who we can love and who we can't love, and who we should be able to start families with and who we should not start families with. Look, I just can't believe we're almost going into 2000 fucking 26. Black people haven't figured out how to get the fourth grade reading level up. Black people haven't figured out how to be the number one race that mine gold or cobalt or sapphire or any fucking natural resource. But instead, one of the biggest contentious conversations in our community among scholars and graduates and people who actually know shit is about who should date who, and it's on the grounds of race, of the color of our skin. It's absolutely ridiculous because, I mean, I've been a simp guy for years, and black men and black women hated when they was treated a certain type of way because of the color of their skin, not because of their character, because the color of their skin. So again, it's not me who's doing this. It's black woman. It's a black woman and other black women on TikTok. They're calling it the Diana Rossification of the black family. Now, I already know what a lot of black women will say. why is Diana Ross being singled out when plenty of black men made babies with white women and they erased their lineage too? Well, as I said earlier, I can't speak for the person in the video. I hold them both accountable. I guess if I need to hold anybody accountable, it's like today's society, the way that the feminist and masculinity war is going on, you can have a woman shoot a nigga or shoot a baby. A woman can harm a baby. Pop, pop, baby gone. And they'd be like, "Oh no, there had to be something. The man did something." That they will automatically, for the most part, defend that woman. The same thing on the men's side, right? Look at Tory Lanez, guilty on all charges, yet still being defended to the highest accord, right? Even Milagro Grahams is guilty of that. A black woman. I just don't know. I don't understand. Man, there's always some people that want to troll the chat. When you guys come into the chat and troll, I'm hitting the ban button. My patience is ice thin these days. But anyway, so let me get back on topic so I can edit this properly later on. They're calling it the Diana Ross-ification of the black family. This phenomenon where a black family can completely become predominantly white within just 2 generations, with descendants who have little to no connection to their black identity or culture, despite having 2 black grandparents. I've seen this up and close and personal, where you have biracial children. They don't know anything about hip hop. They don't know anything about Sidney Poitier or any. You ask these kids today, especially the ones who have biracial fathers or biracial mothers, right? I mean, outside of somebody like Lotto, right? She seemed to be a student of hip hop, a student of black history, a student of black culture. She know who Tupac and Biggie is. She know who fucking Toni Morrison is. But you ask some of these black kids who, if you ask their parents, they would say these kids are black. Ask them about black culture. Ask them about black history. Ask them about black music. They don't know it, but they know about Billie Eilish, right? They know about Myron Gaines. They know about Andrew Tate. I'm just here to deliver the information. Now, again, this isn't just about Diana Ross. This is about apparently identity, history, freedom, and love, and the complex legacy of race, and all of those things intertwine in this beautiful domain we call the United States of America. It's about the tension between individual choice and collective cultural survival. That's what they're saying this is about, right? Collective cultural survival. We don't want black children to be mixed race with little white kids or any other race, because these niggas hate themselves and the women are mammying themselves out. I mean, that's the arguments that are being made on both sides of the aisle. It's almost like nobody never stops to say, maybe they're just happy together. Of course, I will become the enemy if I suggested such a thing. So I have to just be a simp, and I'm going to say those niggas hate themselves and those women are mammying. That way I don't have any smoke with the extreme misogynist or the extreme feminist. I want smoke with neither side. Oh, not the stalkers. The stalkers are stalking today. Ciao. Anyway, so I think I've talked enough. My battery's not 70%. Let's go into this video and watch a little bit of it, see how far we can get. Fair use. And let me give this young lady a shout out real quick. Hold on. Because I've been watching like 4 of her videos. She actually makes very concise points, which I love that. I like when I watch a video and somebody makes points directly into what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Very good content creator. Her name is Amanda Ariana, black woman. You guys can watch her content. I will put the description and the link below. Let's get into it.
Diana Ross, Quincy Jones, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Eartha Kitt, Sidney Poitier.
Damn. Eartha Kitt, Sidney Poitier too. Damn.
Lena Horne. What
Lena
do all these
Horne.
people have in common? If you guessed they're iconic black entertainers, you're correct. But more than that, they are iconic black entertainers whose descendants have become increasingly white. On some corners of the internet, this trend has been dubbed the Diana Ross-ification of the black family.
What is the Diana Ross effect?
The Diana Ross-ification of the black family is a very real thing.
Look at Diana Ross's family as an example of the dangers.
Why do black people need for white proximity?
Well, I mean, these questions can be answered very easily. I don't even need my script for this one. Why do black people seek white proximity? Well, they seek white proximity because, I mean, what is the goodness of being like what? How can I say this? What good comes with the proximity of black women or black men being associated with black women or black men? Let me give you my little synopsis before I go into the script, right? Like I said, I probably do a part 2 tomorrow. But if you have on the let's start with the women's side. Why would women want to be closer to black men than black women? Listen, I'm all fucked up. I'm thinking about a million different things. I gotta do everything myself. So let me get my shit together. The proximity thing is like this, bro. They're like, well, you must hate yourself. Why wouldn't we hate ourselves? Black women say we not shit. Black men say we not shit. Our parents say we not shit. Our kids say we aren't shit. The husbands say we ain't shit. The wives say we ain't shit. The stepkids say we ain't shit. Everybody say we ain't shit. As a matter of fact, the only people that they actually admire is the people that actually ain't shit. Y'all ever heard of that thing? The good guys finish last. This shit right itself. So you tell people I'm not shit, you ain't shit. Then you get mad when they go to somebody else and that person says, I love you for who you are. But instead of you seeing that for love, because you have this person ain't shit, a evil fucking spirit, a fucking jaded fucking heart, you can only see it through your lenses, which is hatred, which is bigotry, right? It's out of the realm of possibility that Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Shannon Sharp, whoever the fuck else you want to name. Oh, my bad. Let me name somebody else who the black woman name. Serena Williams. Remember the same one that black man shitted on, and because of that reason, she had to go find a white man, somebody treat her right. Same thing with Eve. Nobody shamed them. I can go to one of my favorite content creators right now. Her name is Your Trigger. I can go to her page. I'll do it live right now and type in Eve, or I'll type in fucking Serena Williams and see if there is a video of by Your Trigger. One of my famous, she's like the new Cynthia G, right? She hold niggas and people accountable. She do all this shit on YouTube, but she has yet to say, because she hold these niggas like Shannon Sharp, Jonathan Majors, and any other nigga that has a light skin or dark skin that's fuck with a white bitch, they will be held accountable. But I've seen in content creators like her, if Serena Williams find happiness, then it's just the niggas didn't want her. She was completely mishandled, and she found happiness with somebody of a different fucking race. That logic is never applied when anybody else go get with a white woman. I only bring that up because if it's called the Diana Ross-ification, why are we bringing up everybody else? Right? Thanks to this woman for this comprehensive breakdown, because she goes into how did she pronounce it? Blanquamico, which is a Latin American term for whitening, and she broke down how in Portugal specifically, the government came up with this plan for white men to go out there and every black man that had a daughter, they was going to try to have sex with that daughter, either through rape or through just making her fall in love, however. But it was a known little thing that they was doing, and we're going to erase the bloodlines, basically. And I don't know, bro. Like I said, to me, when I watched this video 3 times today, this specific video, and I'm trying to figure out how is Diana Ross having white grandchildren affecting the young lady in this video and her blackness. Because when I hear people say I want to preserve blackness, I'm assuming this, especially if you're a black woman. I'm assuming when you say I want to preserve blackness, that means you never lay with anything else but a black man. I'm talking about fully blooded black man, nothing else. Not 25, not 75, not 35, not 11%, 20%. Black nigga. Right? Same thing with black men. If you want to see the black community not be washed out, blah, 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 then why are you having children with Becky's? Or like Dr. Umar would say, why are you being snow bunnied? I do not understand this. To me, it's hypocritical. That's like me saying, I'm super pro-black and I want the black race to fully go far. So the solution for that is for me to go fuck Indian women and for me to go fuck an Asian bitch and then have biracial children. And because they have a pigment of dark skin, I'm call them black. And that's what this young lady is calling out, and people like Diana Ross. But even in that argument, how is Diana Ross having biracial children harming you? That's what I wanted to get to, because I took my notes and she mentioned cultural survival. Baby, only way culture survives is 2 different ways: black families and black history. Black families and black history. And people who actually honor these things. The reason why in the South they're teaching motherfuckers that the Civil War wasn't based on slavery, but instead was about Southern independence. Because today, our fucking, especially the black kids, our kids are so fucking stupid and fucking just so far from reality. They acting like this shit never existed, don't exist. They're mentally weak, physically weak as well. Meanwhile, the white man's still ruling. That's just the facts. But again, if we need to, we can keep going deep. We can examine the historical context that shaped these dynamics. Let me go back to my script. The psychological impacts on multiracial identity formation and the Latin American policies that normalize racial whitening, and social media discourse that brings these issues into mainstream consciousness. This is a complicated, quote unquote, complicated, uncomfortable, quote unquote, but necessary, quote unquote, conversation. So let's begin. Part 1, defining the Diana Ross-ification as the kids have coined it on Twitter or TikTok. Let's go back to it.
Though Diana Ross did not pioneer this trend, she's become the face of it.
All right, so I guess this is her kids and shit, and her grandkids. What's the problem? You know what I see in this family? I see unity. I see multiple generations all coming together. I wish I can get every black community and every black family to do this. My mama would be dead before she take a happy photo like this with the rest of her fucking family. Oh, let me guess. Trauma. Like Diana Ross never been through any of that. Right? Don't forget, she's a black woman too. She's supposed to get y'all sympathy, but they always forget to keep supporting. They always forget when they are offended and they disagree. And they don't just get to, you know what, sister, my brother, we may disagree, but let's find a resolution. No, it gets to fuck you. I'm gonna do what's best for me and you can do what's best for you. Fuck it. And again, that's the normal way black families move. I know motherfuckers right now, they ain't seen their families in years. They ain't been to a family reunion in years. They haven't hugged their family and said, I love you face to face in years. They haven't had a dinner in years. They can't even have conversations. But they will come on here, right? See Diana Ross with white grandbabies get triggered. Oh my God, the black card is all the blackness is just going away. Yeah, that's what happens when you got brothers and sisters who can't even fucking talk, who so fucking begrudged they can't even build a family. But you're worried about the black culture and black survival, but your family won't even survive. How can we? Let me go back to the big screen. Like I said, I know I wasn't gonna go through this whole video because I just don't understand the point of it. How can we emphasize? I don't give a fuck if you're a black man or black woman. Anybody who want to debate this shit, what I'm going to do before y'all debate, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get every fucking piece of footage I can find on you talking about this topic. So before anybody, male or woman, decides to debate me on this topic in particular, understand I'm gonna ask two questions. How is this impacting you? And watch what happens. Nobody never answered. Because it doesn't. You know what actually I see in this photo again? Unity, togetherness, happiness. Put a 1 in the chat if you was gonna be with all your family for the holidays, taking holiday pictures, eating eggnog, thousands of fucking gifts around the motherfucking table, multiple generations of families all there together. Put a 1 in the chat if you would be participating in something like that. Shit, my motherfucking newborn son haven't even met his grandma yet. He haven't even met her yet. And niggas want to complain about Diana Ross. Oh, but Daryl, yes, she made a white baby. Okay. Why the fuck are y'all coming at like why the fuck is this even a topic? Again, not 4th grade reading level across the black young male specifically, not just the ones raised by black fathers too. Why isn't the big topics never a fucking big deal to us? Why do we just skate along, do what's best for us individually, then talk about our culture to collectively surviving? When we're not doing nothing else collectively, we don't eat collectively, we don't give a fuck about each other collectively. But you know what? Now I'm going on a rant. So let me go back to my my fucking script so I can play the role I'm meant to play. So what exactly is the Diana Ross-ification? At its core, it describes how a black family lineage can be whitened across generations through successful interracial relationships, particularly with white partners. Here's how it typically unfolds. Generation 1, 2 black parents have children. Generation 2, those children who are black have relationships primarily or exclusively with white partners, producing biracial children. Generation 3, those biracial children who may identify as mixed or identify as white also partner with white individuals, producing children who are 3/4 white. Generation 4, by this point, the great children of the original black couple may appear phenotypically white, identify also as white. Whether they appear as white, they may identify as a white person, and virtually, it's very important, have no connection. Let me repeat this. Have no connection to black culture, black community, black identity, and the only thing that they can connect is the every now and then black person that they have in their life. They may be their mother, father, cousin, something, whatever, but they don't know black culture. They don't be in the black communities, so they don't know about the black communities, and the ones that are in the black communities are not together, right? Of course, you can go ask any black woman. Gang violence, black men, interpersonal relation, partner relationship, romantic partner relationship, black men. Trafficking, black men. So don't, niggas is active. Black Dahlia said, am I drunk to drop the link? Oh yeah, Black Dahlia. So this is the thing. I'm just not doing links anymore. It just doesn't serve me. And I'll tell you why. Because I can never get through the content. I can never really get my points across because I'm like listening to everybody else talk for like 5 or 10 minutes. Then we go back to the video 8 minutes later and then people forgot what the fuck we're talking about. And I do too. So no. And I'm only literally going to do it for people who have like studio quality microphones now. Otherwise, that's what the chat is for. Hey, Black Beauty. But otherwise, that's what the chat is for. Anything that someone wants to say or needs to say, unless they can say it on with a almost professional level microphone and camera, that is what the chat is for. But let's keep going. The Diana Ross example is instructive. Diana Ross had children with Barry Gordon, who was black, and later married Robert Ellis Steinberg, but that is all detailed in the video, so let me go to that part now.
Because she loves posting group pictures with her.
What is this? Daryl, could you also talk about the transfer of wealth in these marriages? Diana Ross earned her initial wealth as a black artist with Motown Records, directed at black studios. Yeah, I said that earlier that I don't care about that because that's the only thing that if it wasn't for the money, this conversation nobody would give a fuck about. Nobody. Every time I hear a conversation about interracial bullshit, it always go back to money that a black woman or a black man has made. So again, if we're telling people that they have their full autonomy, that should mean to spend their money how they want. That should mean to how they want to protect their peace. And that means that they want to go out and fucking fall in love with somebody who look different from them, then who the fuck are you to judge them? Who the fuck are you to act like you give a fuck? Because you really don't. What you want to do is project your prejudices onto other people, your negativity onto other people, your jaded spirit onto other people. To see somebody walk down the street holding, imagine me, right? Because black women never understand it unless I put it in a situation where black men are the villain. So let me make myself the villain. Imagine if Serena Williams is walking down the street with her white husband. They happy, they in love. He treating her right. He defended her publicly against Stephen A. Smith. And me as the black man, I see them, I say, and I stop them. I hate you, Serena. Bitch. How dare you be with this white man? How dare you transfer wealth to this white man? How dare you? You're from Compton. You was raised by a black man. They called him King Richard Williams. He single-handedly, as the manager for you and your sister Venus, put you into the motherfucking Starship, and you give all that good pussy to a white man. I promise you, if they have video of me doing this on the street, black women will cancel me. They will start talking shit about me. They'll say I'm insecure. Oh, so again, yeah, I'm gonna stay off that topic. Person who wrote that in the chat. But if you like, you can engage in that conversation with Black Beauty and Black Dahlia. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Her whole family during the holidays. So it's usually around this time of year that people are like, wait, why does Kris Jenner have more black grandchildren than Diana Ross? Whenever she posts these pictures, people...
Damn, Shorty, let me rewind that. What did Shorty just say? That's diabolical. Did she say, why does Kris Jenner has more black grandchildren than Diana Ross? Listen, I'm not agreeing with that statement. I'm just here to present the information that the young black queen presented. That way we can, well, you guys can let me know in the chat if you agree or disagree with her point of view, that this is such a big deal that because Diana Ross was licking on a fucking white Snicker and she had a baby by one of these men, that, oh my God, yeah, I'm saying our culture will not survive. The same people don't support black music. The same people don't support black men, or these people are extremely biased. To them, the black community exists only within the people that they support. Literally. I can't support that. I can't support that. I won't support that. Period. Diana Ross is from my home city of Detroit, Michigan. Diana Ross is one of the biggest musician legends of all time. If I'm not correct, I think she's the highest selling woman of all time. Let me check in with Gemini, because again, out of everything that we could be talking about, we're not talking about how maybe we can have a family that's halfly like Diana Ross family. No, only thing bitch, why you ain't suck a black dick? I thought y'all said them niggas wasn't shit. I thought y'all said them niggas was gonna use me for my money like Todd did Candy. Bitch. I thought you said them niggas was the most abusive. The most incarcerated. The ones who not gonna take care of their kids. Why on earth would I choose them? Bitch. I just listened to your show the other day and you said that black man was the most diabolical, low down on earth niggas. But you also expect me to choose them? Bitch, make up your mind. Again, people be opening their fucking mouth, starting arguments, and not correlating it back to all kinds of shit. That's what this young lady neglected to mention in this video. Is why would black women be so fucking quick to just up and marry and be faithful to a black man when 90% of them believe that we ain't shit? And I mean, a lot of that is based on a lot of facts and stats that are true. You want to go into the fucking single parenthood rate? You want to go into the incarceration rate? You want to go into the niggas who don't vote? I mean, you could pick your fucking poison, right? And don't give that poison to somebody like a Cynthia G, intelligent person who's going to use these tats. They attacked Candace Owens when she said the number one problem with the black community is single fatherness. Single fatherness. And then when she sat down with Charlie Kirk and they both said the number one problem with black community is single fatherness, they called that racism. Child. You can't make this shit up. Let's continue this video.
So it's usually around this time of year that people are like, wait, why does Kris Jenner have more black grandchildren than Diana Ross? Whenever she posts these pictures, people can't help but notice that the younger her family members are, the lighter they look. And it's not because they're infants whose melanin hasn't kicked in yet, or they just randomly caught a light skin gene. Most of Diana Ross's grandchildren look white. 150 years ago, these kids could theoretically pass for white. I made a whole video about the misconceptions surrounding white passing. So if you're...
I watched that video. That video was very dope. I liked it. I liked how you incorporated the young lady from Sinners into the video. And you went into the ambiguous ones and the light-skinned ones and the ones who actually are white, like Rachel Dolezal, who claims she was black. That tickled me. That really tickled me. But yeah, great video. Great video. I recommend anybody go watch it. And she's using that Blue Yeti microphone, which is a microphone I used to use, and she sounds very, very, very good on here. I think I might actually invest into a Blue Yeti only if this channel continue to grow. And that's only gonna happen if I'm sitting in this chair working every single fucking day. It's like I used to. Let's keep going. I'll address the chats and stuff at the end. You guys just have fun in there. I just don't want to read the chat. I'm not even looking at the chat. Just have fun. If anybody say anything out of bounds, time them out. But I'm not interested in reading the chat or putting up highlights. If you want a comment highlighted, if you want me to take time out the show to read a comment, you need to do it on a Cash App, a PayPal, or something that says, "Here, Daryl, thank you for your time. Now please read this fucking comment." If it's not a monetary form, then I'm sorry. We're just not going to be read. Not out loud. Not by me. Let's keep going.
If you're interested in this topic, you'll probably also like that one. But as I discussed in my white passing video, passing for white was not something you looked like, it was something you did. Racial discrimination is technically illegal now, and the one drop rule has been phased out as a social law. So no one really chooses to pass for white in 2025. If you are perceived as white, you will be treated as a white person. You no longer have to prove that you don't have a drop of black blood. You are phenotypically a white person, but you have black heritage. And that is the case for many of the descendants of those aforementioned entertainers. They do not look black, but their identity is certainly informed by their blackness in some way. I am not in the business of denying people's ancestry or DNA or blackness, but I don't like people conflating heritage with racial experience.
She says, I don't like people conflating heritage with racial experience. So I because I watched this video at least 6 times today, so I can reference exactly what she's talking about. Let me give an example. Michael Jackson's children. So Paris Jackson calls herself a black woman, which is obviously a lie. She's a white woman. It's clear as day she's a white woman. However, allegedly she's had the experience of a black woman because her father was black. Allegedly. Everybody know Michael Jackson was black, but the way he presented, I don't want to talk about that right now, but he presented himself as a white man. Everybody she was around was white. Like when she said she was a black woman, I just where? Not only do you look like a white woman, you are a white woman. Your hair is blonde. Everything about you is white. You don't have no soul, right? Let me give you an example. The young man was playing Michael Jackson in the movie. I understand is Michael Jackson's nephew, one of his brother's sons with a black woman. I think his name is Jafar Jackson. Young man can sing, he can sing, he can dance. He can do it all. It's almost like he got that soulfulness his Uncle Michael had. And that Miss Paris, because it's not just about heritage, it's about lineage. See, heritage and lineage are two different things. So when she used this word, because she said it right here, I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it herself. I want to go against her argument. The whole video doesn't matter to me. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, I'll post it in chat. You can go watch it there. I'm not staying longer than an hour. That's my rule now.
Ultimately, I don't like people in the business of denying, certainly informed by their blackness in some way. I am not in the business of denying people's ancestry or DNA or blackness, but I don't like people conflating heritage with racial experience because you are ultimately treated how you look.
You're treated how you look. She doesn't like when people conflate heritage with racial experience. For years, black men, not myself, but because I love Drake, shout out to Drake, but black men have complained about Drake, right? It wasn't until last year where shit really went far with Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us. And even with that song, saying not like us when you have a biracial baby mama is diabolical. Right? But again, I said it all last year. That song was a representation of how delusional our culture is. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Just say you a hater, bro. Just say you a hater. And I saw black women saying black men just doing the dance and shit. Calling Drake a colonizer and shit. All because he's better at you. Sold more records than you. Have more fans. And if we really being honest, you watch shows like, I don't know, Insecure, for example, by Issa Rae, where she continuously give Drake credit. And so does almost every other black woman in the show. Listen, man. this Diana Ross-ification thing, to me, it's an embarrassment, because instead of us like going through all of this black woman's accomplishments, right, in her solo career, and shout out to white people who are white, and the white people who wrote Stranger Things, for giving Diana Ross her credit. She wrote a song called Upside Down. Upside Down scored it was on the Billboard #1 for 12 fucking weeks. And Diana Ross even have a performance with Michael Jackson where they're performing that song Upside Down. Before that, she was with the Supremes. Diana Ross has sold over 100 million records. In 1993, Diana Ross was declared the most successful female music artist in history by the Guinness Books of World Records due to her combined success with the Supremes and as a solo artist. She is the only black woman in history to be declared at any point in time in history the #1 artist in history, Diana Ross. I think that we do ourselves a misfavor. Sorry, you say a disfavor. I'm gonna use that word. We do ourselves a disfavor, guys, by continuously shitting on the people who really should mean a lot to black culture. Like the way I'm watching black people talk about Diana Ross, it is almost like she's Brian McKnight. She didn't do what Brian McKnight did. She never came out and said, I don't love my black daughters. My black sons weren't made out of love. She's never said that. She's never said that once, that she don't love black men. So I just don't understand why she's getting all of this hate. And it's crazy because I think that these videos didn't start till about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is the same time that Stranger Things released season 5. And the #1 song on every single episode is Diana Ross's Upside Down. It's trending on iTunes, it's trending on Spotify, and all of a sudden, now you got videos trending saying, oh, she's a mammy. She liked white men so much and she made white babies and she destroyed her lineage. It was her lineage to destroy. It wasn't yours. I don't understand that. Now I'll drop the link. Since I got all of that out of my spirit until I do a part 2, I'll drop the link. And this is the rules. I'm going to play the video with everybody up here, whoever want to come up. Do not interrupt the video. I need clippable moments so I can grow this channel. Without clippable moments, I don't grow this channel. I get very frustrated. I don't want that. I don't want that. If you come up, don't change the topic to when your cousin did something or your mama did something. I'm only talking about Diana Ross. If we talk about anything except Diana Ross, I'm dropping you. I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna roll me a blunt. Because this conversation about Diana Ross being anything less than a cultural fucking icon, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, to be honest. And I enjoyed this young lady video, the points that she made, but the fact that we're using our brain to tear down a black woman simply because she fell in love with somebody else, and use her autonomy. When I have black women saying every day, you niggas can't control these bitches. They got their full autonomy and do what the fuck they want. And when she did what the fuck she wanted to do, now she's being attacked. I can't support that. What percentage is my battery on? 55%? All right, I'm watching a little bit more and we out of here.
heritage with racial experience because you are ultimately treated how you look. And just because you have Black heritage doesn't mean you walk through the world perceived as a Black person. When the topic of Black Hollywood families becoming whiter each generation is brought up, there is often pushback from the "it's not that deep" crowd. And sure, I would say it's not that deep if it was a one-off occurrence, but it is a pattern and it's not a crime to notice. Also, if it's not that deep, why are you even commenting? Just keep it pushing. I'm not Dr. Umar, even.
It's to me, it is that deep actually, because every single day, white men and white women are having conversations about jets, about national security, about nuclear weapons, about tariffs, about a million different fucking things that govern our society. And again, I'm going to reiterate this point once more, that instead of us uh, um idolizing our fucking legends the same way that they idolize Elvis. Let me do some research so I can get some facts. Elvis Presley and his young mistress. You know, you gotta have fancy words these days. But nobody talks about, the founding fathers and how they was raping and pillaging. No, I'm talking about the white people. White people don't talk about Elvis and his young mistress, Thomas Jefferson and his, they call her mistress, but calling a 14-year-old slave who didn't want to be there a mistress is diabolical in itself, right? But again, when the last time you saw white women protesting them niggas? I already know what argument I'll be met with. So, Daryl, you want us to be like the white bitches? For one, that's a problem. Even though I never said that. Then, you want us to be cool with niggas who grape and pillage? But you call yourself an American? Are you African? No, I'm American. And America is what again? Because this country wasn't called America about 500 years ago. Whole different name, whole different people, whole different system, whole different government, right? Whole different power structure. Can you tell me what group of people called it America? Oh, grape and pillagers. And just to reiterate, you are an American? Yeah, okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, this is diabolical. Let me keep going, man.
No, I dressed up as.
Oh, and I did find it right here. It says that Elvis and a young lady named Priscilla, when she was 14, Elvis was 24. And they start having a little fling, allegedly. And white people still dance to Elvis music to this day. I'm just saying, bro. It's the same reason why I can't even support this nigga 50. A lot of this stuff like this is secretly rooted in hate.
Him for Halloween one time. I'm not here to condemn these entertainers for marrying white people or.
Black Dahlia, welcome to the show.
Hey, bro, how you been?
Honestly, not good, but
Welcome
I'm so
to America.
strong, I'm gonna be good anyway.
Yeah, that's the point. I was about to say, baby, there's so much that you could get yourself down on if you're not focused on the right thing, but we ain't in them places.
Absolutely not. We are not.
We've been here before. We've been here before, and baby, we gonna make it out.
But Black Dahlia, as I said earlier, when I bring everybody up, I only want them to focus on the topic. So what is your thoughts about the topic?
Well, like looking at the pictures of Diana Ross, it seems like her white appearing grandchildren are coming from the boys.
Yes.
And mitochondrial Eve DNA goes unchanged, and it is passed down from the mothers, grandmothers, and daughters.
So can I
Males
ask you a
don't
question,
pass.
Black Dahlia?
Males don't. Go ahead.
If it's important for, because you said the sons, so I'm going to assume Black women will have a problem with that. If it's important for Black women, for this lineage Black thing to keep going and not be wiped out, wouldn't it be important to paint Black men in a picture that will make daughters say, yeah, I do want a Black man? Like, let me give you an example. If I tell Leia for the next 20 years, niggas ain't shit, niggas are going to grape you. Niggas are not meant to lead. They don't build nothing. They can't build nothing. They don't have no families. They don't want no families. Can't keep a job. Don't want a job. Lazy, mentally weak. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But when she hear me talk about the white man, even the ones who have done atrocities, like Joe Biden, right? Even the worst ones, they still get spoken in a high regard, right? What have you done, nigga? Joe Biden done more than you. Donald Trump done more than you. And every other white man that you don't like that's putting dick in a Black woman. Serena Williams' husband done more than you. I can keep going with this shit. So my question to you,
and all of those
so you
men
can have a
have
question to respond
generational
to,
wealth.
why would Black women, little Black girls, care about keeping on this lineage like they care about in these videos if you're not telling young girls and young boys that is the main thing growing up? I wasn't told that growing up by Black women that, oh yeah, Black lineage matters. It only happened in particular when a rich nigga is with a white bitch. If Jay Prince got a white bitch today, there won't be fucking 45-minute videos about his life because nobody will give a fuck. But if, I don't know, Bronny James does it, now, oh my God, he's giving away all the Black fucking wealth. Child. You got it, Black Guy.
Well, that's the difference. So, you named Serena Williams. We're talking about Diana Ross. We're talking about Black women. So scientifically, that's what I was saying. When okay, so me, like any woman, when your mother is in your grandmother's stomach, your mother has all of the eggs that she will ever produce in her lifetime. So, even though I have a Black biracial daughter, she has a Black fiance, but even if she had a white man, the mitochondrial Eve DNA that she is going to pass down is what was in her grandmother when she was pregnant with me. It's Black DNA. But for males, mitochondrial DNA is passed down by mothers. So they cannot pass their mitochondrial DNA to their children. So like I said, when I first came up, it appears that all of Diana Ross's white appearing grandchildren came from her son.
Yeah, what's the problem?
That was their choice. That was their blatant choice in what they wanted to represent.
I don't think it's all about representation, right?
It is representation because
So you think if I went and I interviewed, if I went to Chicago today and I interviewed on the street 30 random women and I asked them, Black women, the person you had your children with, when you were thinking about it, when you think about making this person your baby daddy, were you thinking about representation? You think every single one of them is going to tell me yes?
I don't know about them, but for me, absolutely. Absolutely. My father has over 19 children. The 19 that we know about is just based off of child support cases. I live in a small town. So my white baby daddy was proof we ain't related.
Right.
So I was 15 when I got with him. So yes, I thought it was love before I met the love of my life, my child. But it had nothing to do with, oh, black men ain't doing this, blah, 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 all that shit. No, it wasn't about that. It was about, I don't want to have a baby with my cousin, my brother, something that I'm unaware of. But for black men, that is not majority of the case. That's not what you hear black men online saying about why they get with non-black women. It's always the woman's fault. She ain't this, she ain't submissive, she ain't feminine, she ain't friendly, she ain't fit. Nigga, you ain't got no neck.
But see, to me, again, I don't want to go into all those different topics. I don't even want to talk about Diana Ross. Literally, only Diana Ross. For me, I just don't. The reason why Diana Ross or anybody else to choose who they chose don't matter to me. It just don't. I literally am at a point in my life where I just don't give a fuck about who
But it's
somebody's
about
doing someone else
legacy,
with.
though.
And this is
It's about legacy
2026. So
and
to me, one
generational
second, Black
worth.
Dahlia. This is 2026. So I mean, I just can't imagine we're going into the next year, and we're not addressing the fourth grade reading level. We're not addressing like real shit that can actually propel us. We're addressing who should love who, and that just seems so fucking trivial and fucking childish in a world where niggas are building nuclear weapons. We're talking about relationships. I just don't understand it.
And that's what I'm saying. Because maybe Diana Ross had this knowledge back then that her mitochondrial Eve DNA was going to be passed down through her children, and only her daughters could pass it on unchanged scientifically. And I'm saying that the pictures that was shown, it seemed like her sons were the ones that were choosing to pass down the mitochondrial Eve DNA of a white woman and stop their mother's lineage.
Yeah, I don't think that that's something that they think about because it's
They
not
don't
talked
care.
about in households. It's not, especially in an accurate way, right?
It is
Drake's mother
accurate.
can't go to Drake and talk about she don't want him to date biracially. But what? But that's what's happening in a lot of
But it's
households.
the
And
same thing
hold on 1
with
second, Black Dye,
Patrick
because just 1 second, please. The problem that I've always had this conversation, and I'm so happy that my mother spared me from these conversations, is they usually are rooted in hypocrisy. Usually, I can start from the men's side just to appease the women. And I never heard a father say, "I don't want my fucking sons dating a white woman." But the ones that every now and then I've heard it, I can ask that man, "Have you fucked a white woman before?" Yes. Now I'm gonna go to the black women. The ones who I've heard them say, "I don't want my children dating nothing else or fucking or doing nothing else but black people." I asked that same woman, "Have you only opened your legs for black men?" And it's a no almost 8 out of 10 times. It's like this myth that we're race loyal to each other is a myth. This is why we don't do nothing else as together. If that was the case, everything would be done together. When a black child would go missing, we would do it together. When we have social issues, we would do it together. We don't do shit together. We're so divided. Right? Before we were segregated, but now we're so divided that when Ice Cube, I remember a few years ago, Ice Cube came up with a plan for Black America. We had fucking Vivica A. Fox on there saying, "What about the plan for black women? What about that plan? Bitch, it says Black America." But this is what I'm talking about.
That was very nice. She don't have to be a bitch.
Nope, I said what I said. Because again, she's chasing after 50 Cent and fuck niggas instead of
50
looking
Cent
at
is a
a
fuck
man who
nigga?
is bringing a fucking plan together that is going to help fucking black people collectively, men and women. But you're so hell-bent on being 50 Cent's little whore. That's what I'm saying.
But
like the
then
conversations in the
again,
black community to me now, they disgust me. Genuinely. As much as I enjoy the
but then
commentary,
again,
talking about
but
somebody's
then
grandchildren
again,
complexion and how
no,
that's destroying Black America
that's
is
I
insane.
was just about to loop it back around. So you just brought up Ice Cube and you called Vivica Fox a bitch
I
because
did.
she was chasing after a black man. But
No.
Ice Cube,
Let me correct you.
Ice Cube,
Hold on, Black
Ice
Dahlia.
Cube is
Let me correct
raising
that, Black Dahlia.
sons.
Black Dahlia, I don't want to mute you. Let me correct that. I did not call Vivica Fox a bitch because she was chasing after a black man. I called Vivica Fox a bitch because if a black man, no matter who it is, Ice Cube, Barack Obama, who it is, come up with a plan for Black America, something that she hasn't done, nor 50 Cent, and her first response isn't how can I support? Her first response is, where's the plan for black women? It's almost clear like, A, you didn't read it. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just here to speak on something and project negative stereotypes about black men and women. When Ice Cube don't participate in gender war conversations, that's why his first response back was, well, my lady, the conversation and it literally says Black America, which means that's black women, that's black children, that's black men. Why would you think that I need to create a separate whole fucking agenda for just so I call her a bitch because of that? Because if you actually had read into it, he had all kinds of different things about black women. And even if you read into it, you would learn that VP Kamala Harris had signed on that fucking shit back when Donald Trump was running the first time, saying that she support Ice Cube. The same black woman that black women voted for predominantly. But again, instead of Vivica Fox bringing that fact up because she didn't read it, she said, oh, he's trying to just insert himself into politics. It's goofy. That's something that a bitch would do. That's why I said she a bitch.
Can I speak now?
Of course.
Okay, so Vivica Fox is in the industry, so she probably has rubbed elbows with Ice Cube, right? And
maybe
she's probably speaking. What I got out of it is that she knows that Ice Cube is raising black men that are prioritizing, pedestalizing white women and having children with him, because his son, with his surname, he's a junior, he got a white baby mama, and that's what kind of mitochondrial DNA he chose to pass down. So that's why I said I didn't understand why she had to be a bitch, because it don't make no sense. If Ice Cube is so blackity black and I'm black, y'all, why did your son choose to pass down what mitochondrial DNA?
For the same reason why black women support black women and they pass down white man DNA all the fucking time. It's no different.
No, it's not. But it's not passed down from white men. Like I just said, scientifically.
Hold on. So I get.
So there's a difference
the white
between
DNA
a black
is only passed
biracial.
down when the black man has a baby with the white woman.
Yes.
But if the white woman, but the black woman has a baby by the white man.
Yes.
His white genes aren't passed down at all. Black Dahlia.
Scientifically.
You got it.
Scientifically, that's what I do. You can't, because mitochondrial Eve. You can try it. You can ask Gemini. Does mitochondrial Eve DNA go unchanged between mother and daughter? And does
I'm asking
men...
Gemini a specific question. Gemini, I was talking to a friend, and my friend said that when white men have babies by black women, their genes are not passed on. Only the black genes passed on. But
that's
when black
not
men
what I said. That's not what I said.
With white women, we lose all of our genes as black men, and the white gene get passed on. Can you explain to me the mitochondrial DNA and how it relates to that? Let's see.
That is a very common misconception.
Oh.
But from a biological and genetic standpoint, it's not actually how DNA works. Genetics doesn't recognize race in the way our society does. It only recognizes individual genes. Here is the breakdown of how inheritance actually works and why what your friend said is a myth. 1. The 50-50 rule. Every single human being, regardless of their race, gets exactly 50% of their DNA from their mother and 50% from their father.
Damn.
A white father and a black mother. The child gets exactly 50% white genes and 50% black genes.
Damn.
A black father and a white mother. The child still gets exactly 50% black genes and 50% white genes.
Damn.
The gender of the parent does not change the amount of DNA passed down. Whether the father is black or white, he provides exactly 23 chromosomes, and the mother provides 23 chromosomes.
Damn.
2. Dominant versus recessive traits. The confusion often comes from phenotypes, how someone looks. Some traits associated with African ancestry, like darker skin, curly hair, or brown eyes, are often polygenic and involve dominant alleles. Dominant traits only need one copy from one parent to show up. Recessive traits, like blue eyes or straight blonde hair, usually need a copy from both parents to show up. Because a child with one black parent and one white parent often has brown eyes and darker skin, it might look like they only inherited black genes, but they still have the white genes, alleles, for blue eyes or light skin hidden in their DNA. They can pass those white genes on to their own future children. 3. The myth of losing DNA. There is no such thing as losing your genes based on which parent is which race. Recombination. When a parent makes a sperm or egg cell, their own DNA from their two parents gets shuffled together. Consistency. A black man's Y chromosome, which makes a baby male, stays the same for generations, and a white woman's mitochondrial DNA, passed only from mothers, stays the same. Neither overpowers the other. They coexist.
Damn.
Summary table. Myth. Reality. Only black genes are passed if the mom is black. False. Both parents pass exactly 50% of their DNA.
Damn.
You lose black DNA if the dad is black and mom is white. False. The father's DNA is just as present as the mother's.
Damn.
One race's genes are stronger and delete the other. False. Genes for specific traits might be more visible, but the DNA itself remains a 50-50 mix. It sounds like your friend might be confusing cultural identity or outward appearance with biological science.
Damn.
In reality, a child is always an equal genetic mix of both parents. Actually, let me try that one more time. That is a very common misconception, but from a biological and genetic standpoint, it's not actually how DNA works. Genetics doesn't recognize race in the way our society does. It only recognizes individual genes. Here is the breakdown of how
I think we got it. But Black Dahlia, you want to argue against Gemini? Go on mute. You got it, sis.
No, you didn't ask the question that I said. Like, he said everything that I pretty much was saying. So, like, you've seen my daughter. She's very fair-skinned. And she has red hair and freckles. But that trait comes from my lineage, not her white father. So yes, everything that Gemini just stated was correct. But what I said was the mitochondrial Eve DNA is passed on from mothers to their daughters. Men do not pass it on just as much as women. So when Diana Ross's sons chose to have babies with white women, that's the mitochondrial Eve DNA that was passed on. Not saying that there's not going to be a trace of Diana Ross's DNA. But if DNA ever needed to be established between her son's children, they would rather have Diana Ross's DNA than their father's. They could still prove the DNA establishment from the fathers, but the DNA is going to be stronger if you have the mother's DNA, because he does have her mitochondrial DNA within him. That's how he's able to produce his sperm, his semen, all that is because of the work of the bone marrow of his mother. But it would be much quicker, easier, faster if they had Diana Ross's DNA versus their father's, because his DNA is going to be changed by the mitochondrial Eve DNA from the white mother that is being passed on to his children.
Yeah, like Fear said, Jim and I said it was
So
50-50,
yeah,
but
no, I'm not
I get what
arguing
you're
with
saying.
nothing. I'm not arguing with nothing that Gemini said, but you didn't ask the specific question, the circumstances that I was giving about whether or not the mitochondrial Eve DNA is passed on from the mother to her daughter. When it comes to males, yes, they do contain the mitochondrial Eve DNA from their mother. Yes, they do. But when it comes to their children, the mitochondrial Eve DNA from its mother is going to be way stronger than from its father because he cannot pass it down the same way as a girl child.
I get that, and you're saying that to say that Diana Ross's black sons didn't pass on their black. Cause we talking about traits now, their black skin the way that the mother did, but because of this mitochondrial Eve DNA that the mother possesses, the traits that the children have because they have her DNA along with the father's. Because that, according to you, mitochondrial Eve DNA is stronger. They have the complexions of their white mother, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, that probably, because looking at the pictures and the white mothers that they chose, yes. But okay, so like you've seen, my daughter is black biracial. But I have a boy cousin that has 10 children, and majority of them are by white women. But because he is darker in complexion than me, some of his children are darker than my daughter, but that does not mean that as his girl children, they are still passing down the white mitochondrial Eve DNA that their mothers gave them, even though they are darker skinned than my daughter.
So my ultimate question is, why is this even a conversation in the black community? Why?
I think it's a conversation amongst all the communities of biracial children because of like white supremacy and like wanting to whitewash it's not even just the black community, it's in all communities, the Hispanic or Latino, whatever you want to call them, Asian, any other community. It's better for you to have closer proximity to whiteness, so that's why it's a conversation. So it doesn't matter
Where did that come
what
from?
the vibration.
Sorry for cutting you off. In my opinion, the proximity
No,
to
you're good.
whiteness comes from, again, if I go give let's say if I give Aegon and Leia Cynthia G videos and only Cynthia G videos, right? And again, I gotta give Cynthia her credit. She has tens of thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands of Patreon members. These are tens of thousands of people who will give her ideology. If I gave Aegon and Leia all of her videos and said, just watch them, wouldn't they believe, my daughter especially, that she would be better off with a white man than a black man? Yes or no?
No, not necessarily, because like I said, my daughter is black biracial, so she could have went either way. But her fiance is a black man because she understands, and also because she is lighter than her other biracial cousins that came from a white womb, but she's lighter. She doesn't like she's cool with it now that she's older, but when she was younger, she didn't like the fact that she was such light skin and a dark family. So she wanted to make sure that when if she made children, because she doesn't really care about having kids, but if she does have kids, she wanted them to be darker skinned because she understands how much she loves the blackness within her family. But with black men, I don't know what the hell the patriarchy is doing to black men to make them hate their blackness and what they see in the mirror. But black men seem to want a better proximity to whiteness. So the reason that black men date white women are totally different than why black women date white men. And the outcomes are different because men are supposed to be protectors and providers. Providers, right? Look what Kobe Bryant provided for his baby mama or wife. She changed the entire name of his company from Black Mamba to Mambasita. She wanted her culture because women are the ones that like beyond race, women are the ones that pass down culture because we are the first teachers. We pass down culture to our children.
Mhm.
So my daughter, even though she is as light skinned as she is, she don't know nothing about her. I mean, she does. Don't get me wrong. She does know who her white family is. She knows where she comes from. But I mean, as far as when I had to work, if I ever needed a babysitter, it was my sister, my mama, my aunties, my cousins, black folks. She is culturally black. That's why I call my daughter a black biracial. But her cousin, from my black cousin, he's a male. And his children were primarily raised by his white baby mama's family. So culturally, they don't know
I
nothing.
just don't understand.
They put raisins in their potato salad.
I don't understand still, because I'm gonna do a part two to this video, because I'm probably gonna get off in about 15 minutes. But I still don't understand why this is such a big deal. Let me give you an example, Black Dahlia. Like during the civil rights era, when they were fighting for fair wages, this literally impacted black families, how they fed their children, how they educated their children, how they provided shelter and protection, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and the lack of those fundings led to certain neighborhoods not being cleaned properly, policed properly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when you had civil rights leaders fighting for fair wages, you had them fighting for free school lunches, free school breakfast, et cetera, equal knowledge. So the same textbooks that the white students was getting at Harvard, black students wanted. This is something that Fred Hampton talked about here in Chicago, where he formed the Rainbow Coalition. Also was the chairman of the Black Panther Party. And at 21 years old, they was able to strike a deal with the community who funded it and the city to feed 3,000 kids in Chicago. And it hasn't happened since they put bullets through that man's heart. So my question is this: how is this impacting? Because this is about community survival. How is this genuinely impacting our community on a household basis? Let me give an example. Me and my wife have black children. So when fucking Bronny James go get a white girl pregnant, how is that impacting me and all my homies? How is it impacting my mother and all the black people in Chicago, all the black people in Zion, all the black people in fucking Wisconsin, Milwaukee? How is that impacting us? The same way, to give a different example, when Trump and the Supreme Court did that whole shit with Roe v. Wade, that genuinely impacted communities. I just think, Black Dahlia, like I would much rather have a conversation about how we're going to overturn Roe v. Wade and protect millions of fucking women who are dying and don't have fucking access to healthcare. And one day that might be my daughter. Maybe one day Leia grow up and she might want to go to the South and go to, I don't know, Clark Atlanta or some shit. She might want to go to Morehouse. She might want to go to Howard. God forbid she go down there and fall in love, get pregnant in a state where she won no fucking rights. I don't know why. Because the people of her time, the generation, the elders, was too busy talking about Diana Ross-ification of black families instead of talking about, I don't know, education, science, military, things that actually propel societies.
Well, first of all, I hope that because of the experiments that was done on Adriana Smith and her son, baby Chance, I would hope that Leia would not go to college in Georgia because Georgia don't give a fuck about black women.
I don't like
That
the
was
South at all,
apparent.
so I'm gonna tell Leia to stay away from the South. Everybody know that. I don't like
Yeah,
the South.
yeah. But
The
but
whole
as
South.
far
That's
as
all of them.
But as far as Bronny James, he is in the same category as Kobe. Like what I said, Black Mamba went to Mambacita. When it comes to, like I just said, when it comes to biracial children, there is a big difference between a black biracial and a white biracial. So Bronny James, by loving them white girls, he is going to change his children into white biracials based off the mitochondrial Eve DNA of the mother that he chooses. And since men in the patriarchy, this is what you guys have come up with the patriarchy, you guys are supposed to be providers and protectors. So providing means that my black biracial daughter has a generational wealth and legacy of her grandfather writing books, being a doctorate professor and all that stuff, that if I were to have a child with a black man from where I'm from with the limited resources, my daughter would never have the heir legacy that she has from her white side of the family. That's just what it is. I'm not like being racist, not thinking that white people are better. Like I said, my dad has 19 children that we know of. So I didn't just get a white man because I thought that black men were inferior. No, I didn't want to have a baby with a cousin. But on top of that, I also secured generational wealth for my daughter that would not have been possible from a black man from my area. That's just what it is.
Okay, but how does like I said, how does this whole conversation affect our community? So I just don't understand.
So I'm saying I don't think that Diana Ross was wrong with what she did because except for Tracy Ellis Ross, because I think she might be a little bit biracial, but she ain't even got no kids. But her other daughter is fully black, correct?
Yes.
Does she have children?
I'm not certain, but I believe so. I can double check.
So the picture with those white appearing children, that was part because Tracy Ellis Ross has no children. Now the other daughter, which is her only other daughter, I'm not sure if she has children. So the children that was in that picture came from her son that cannot pass on her mitochondrial Eve DNA. If I'm not incorrect. I mean, I'll Google it real quick. I'll find out if her black daughter, her fully black daughter, has any biracial children. But even if her black daughter does have black biracial children, if she has daughters, not sons, if she has daughters, her children are going to pass down the black mitochondrial Eve DNA of her mother, and her grandmother. The sons cannot.
So she has a daughter with Barry Gordy. That is an all black woman. Her name is Rhonda Ross Kendrick, born 1971, and she has a son named Ralph or Rife. He's a black man. Then
But then
she
again,
has another
it's a
child.
boy.
You say what?
It's a boy. He's a boy. So say he chooses to take the path that his uncles have shown him. All of his uncles have white baby mamas. So
Right.
if the all black daughter's son chooses to have a white baby mama, he is going to pass down the mitochondrial DNA of his child's mother. It's a boy. Now, if she had a daughter, it will be different. Like with like Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle has a black mother. She chose to have children with a white man, which made her kids lighter. But what is the baby? I don't even know if the second baby that she had was a boy or a girl. But the boy, the first child that she has, he cannot pass down his mother's mitochondrial DNA. So if he chooses to also have a white wife, that baby gonna be even whiter than his redheaded ass.
Well, I don't think Tracy is gonna ever have children. I think she's given up on children.
She's in her 50s. She better not, baby. I ain't even your age, and I better not have no more babies.
I think she's done. But yeah, look like only the sons have had children.
Besides the black girl, but she had a son as well. So it's all boys that choose to decide whether their line gets darker or lighter. And the way that patriarchy socializes males, it is better to have proximity to whiteness. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter if you are fully black. It don't matter what you teach your sons. The patriarchy is going to socialize them the way that it is made up. And it is better to have proximity to whiteness, especially in the world that we're living in 2025, almost 2026. Baby, you need that white girl's daddy's credit score. You need the complexion for the protection for your children. Your children might not even look like they might be passable. It might be like Sinners. What was her name? Mary and Sinners.
Yeah, what's her name?
She was an octoroon. I think her name was Mary.
No, that was her name, Mary, for sure.
Yeah, and she actually is an octoroon, and everyone was so mad that perceivably passable white woman was on Sinners, a completely black movie, but her grandfather is a black man, fully black.
This is true. Shout out to Vixen for supporting the channel with her $10 cash. We love you, Vixen. Thank you for holding us down. Now, like I said, I'm going to tag the young lady, and I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm still confused on why this matters. For example, if it mattered that much, then black women would have never voted for Kamala Harris because she's not. I mean, some black women would say she's not black at all. But
well, we didn't necessarily say that. She said it. Like when she got voted in, she was voted in as the first Indian American. She didn't say nothing about being black. She wasn't black until it was time to be black because she wanted to be president in 100 days.
I don't know about that. I like Kamala. A lot. And she pledged AKA, which let me know she was around black people for a long time. She went to Howard.
When it was convenient. But when she got voted in, they said nothing about her Black heritage because, once again, mitochondrial Eve gets passed down from mother to daughter, so she acknowledged her mother's Indian heritage. And she also chose not to pass that down to children because she just a stepmama. She ain't had no biological children.
It says on ChatGPT that throughout her life, Kamala Harris has consistently, publicly, has spoken out and said that she always has identified as Black because of her father, who apparently is a Jamaican immigrant who immigrated to the United States, who is now an economist here. Has been an economist for the last 20 years. And apparently she said she was always treated like a Black girl, specifically by anybody who wasn't a Black girl. This is why I just looked it up, like all the different times she referenced herself as a Black person. When she ran for president in 2016, or was it whenever she ran for president the first time against Joe Biden, and then she ended up becoming his running mate or whatever. I think that was 2021, whatever. She said that if Joe Biden, when he was a senator back in Delaware, if his segregation rules had went into fruition, she would have never been able to get on the same bus with white kids and shit because they looked at her like she was a Black girl because her father was Black. So, like I said, I think there's a difference between, like you said, mitochondrial DNA and being identified consistently throughout your entire life as a Black person, to the point where it's almost like even if you're not Black, you're Black because the world has told you that over and over and over and over and over, to the point where she said that she felt it was so unimportant for her to go to a white school and pledge a white fraternity. She wanted to be with in her mind, the best Black woman fraternity on the planet, which in her mind, which was Alpha Kappa Alpha, the AKAs. And she's one of, if not the most historic member of Alpha Kappa Alpha in history. The only woman to sit in the White House and have a position of presidency in the executive office. The only one in history. So I mean, I don't know. I think that we should support her as a Black woman. Her father is Black. That's just how I've always
I'm
looked at
not,
it.
because Jamaican is a nationality, not a race. So just like every country has Black and white and all different colors, she had the opportunity. Let's see if we can find an article from when they said that she was the first Indian elected to her position. Did she ever make an article where she corrected and said, no, my father is Jamaican, and by Jamaican, I mean Black, because Jamaica does not mean race. It is a nationality. Let's see if we can find an article where she corrected them and said, no, I'm biracial. And so, yes, it's real convenient and clever, especially knowing her career trajectory and what she wanted to do. I would go to an HBCU too, just to solidify what I am trying to accomplish within my career. It makes sense.
A question for all.
And her relating to Blackness might have something to do with her Jamaican father's family owning slaves and them having Black people working for them as quote unquote indentured slaves in their house. Like the people that she acknowledged in her book that were her Black family, they weren't genetically related to her. They worked probably for her Black Jamaican father. And as far as her being inducted as the first Indian into her position, I know Indians. I have worked for Indians that are darker skinned than I am. But on the census and when they come to this country, because they have straight hair, they're classified as white. And I've had conversations with them like, oh, I thought you were African American. Absolutely not. I'm Indian just like you. We just different types of Indians. So no. I don't feel the same about Kamala. She's a pretendian. I mean, she Indian, but she a pretendian talking about my father is Jamaican, and people being ignorant enough to think just because you hear the word Jamaican, you automatically assume that means black. Absolutely not. Look at the
But
pictures
even
of
when you
her
look at her
father and her
father,
mother.
right, like his phenotype, his skin is black. Wouldn't that count as him being black?
Like I just said, the Indians that come over here from Asia, when they come over here, they might be darker skinned than you and I, but
Okay.
on the census, they want proximity to whiteness, so that's what they are classified as. And they
So
will
if
tell
he's not
you,
a
oh
black
no, I'm not
person,
black.
what is he? What is
You
he?
should probably ask Kamala that. I'm just saying, I've seen Indians darker skinned than me
I'm saying, like, you
that have
saying
said to me,
definitively
I'm
that
not black.
Kamala Harris' father is not a black man, so you must know definitively what he is.
No, I'm saying that saying that her father is Jamaican does not mean that he is black. And even
Was
if
Bob
even if
Marley a
he's a
black man?
mulatto,
Was Bob Marley a black
even if
man?
even if he's a mulatto, her mother is 100% Indian.
Was Bob Marley a black man?
He came out of a black woman. He cannot pass down that mitochondrial Eve DNA, but he came from a black woman. Kamala
So
came
that's
from
a
an Indian
yes.
and an Asian Indian, and that is what she chose to exemplify when she ran and won her first office seat. She did not correct. I never saw an article where she corrected and said no. And even when she says her father is Jamaican, she never specifically says he is black. She plays on the ignorance of the American people and says, oh no, my daddy Jamaican. Okay? And what that mean? Because if you look at him, look at his hair, look at all that. That lady said she was washing her greens in a bathtub. What black grandma you know? Have you ever seen a black grandma wash her greens in a bathtub? And do
Yes.
you know why not? Yes. And
Yes,
if she did, what was the circumstances?
she's making a lot of them. For the whole family, like family reunion type shit. Making a whole bunch of them. So if you got like the sink in the kitchen field, because people have different kind of houses, so it all depends on what the house built like. We talking about like Alabama and shit, 90s and shit.
I got a big family too. I ain't never seen not a nail one of my grandmas wash no greens in a bathtub. You know what? The only circumstances maybe is if they bleached and ammonia the hell out of it before they did it, because you wash bacteria-filled toes and booty holes in a bathtub. There's stuff dripping down the walls from your body sweat and condensation. I ain't never seen no black grandma of mine wash no greens in a bathtub. But I'm just saying, Kamala had the opportunity when she was elected as her first office to say she was black. No, she had no problem with them saying she was the first Indian because she understand. I think
What
she
do you think
understands
has
that was
more? What do you think has more bacteria, the kitchen sink or a bathtub?
Um, I wouldn't say that one has more than another because it's all coming from the same place. So everything that you eat from the kitchen sink is coming out in the toilet. So
Hmm.
if they didn't wash the chicken properly and you got salmonella, it's coming from out of the kitchen sink, but you also dumping that into the toilet. I mean, so I wouldn't think that either is more than the other, but I do think that the way that you clean it will determine that. I bleach the hell out of everything. Ammonia, all we ain't passing on none of that. None of that.
According to the HOA, the homeowner association, they say that kitchen sinks are usually far more trifling than
Yep.
bathtubs, and they hold more bacteria on a regular basis than
I'm not
bathtubs
surprised.
due to stuff like salmonella and E. coli,
Yep.
etc., etc.
Yep.
Sponges,
I'm not surprised.
dish rags,
Yeah, that's
etc., etc. They kind of just are like fucking bacteria just sitting there,
yeah,
and then you rub
breeding.
that
Yeah,
bacteria
breeding
onto a new
grounds.
dish, etc., etc.
Yes.
You know.
That's why I said I don't know because okay, so when you take a doo-doo in a toilet, it stinks. But
Hmm.
like when you're cleaning meat, as long as it like is fresh, it doesn't stink the same way it does when you stink up the bathroom when you go number two. So people would generally think that a bathroom is dirtier, but because I'm a mother, I cook and stuff like that. That's why I said I bleach and ammonia everything. So I was gonna say I would think that a kitchen is dirtier just because like I've worked in healthcare and I have seen people not properly change their gloves
Mm.
and then like touch their face. And I'm like, ew, what are you doing? Because they don't think about it. They're thinking, oh, because I have on gloves, gloves makes it safer. But if you're not cleaning, if you're not
It
changing your
doesn't.
gloves properly, you are spreading diseases. Like did you know that your cell phone is one of the dirtiest things that you will touch during the day? Because you can't see the germs and bacteria growing on it like you can smell
Mm.
when you go number two in the bathroom, right? So people don't think and women, it like sitting your purse down on the floor in the bathroom. Do you know how dirty a woman's purse is just from sitting it down on the floor? Because when you flush the toilet, especially if it doesn't have a lid, that's the purpose of a lid. When you flush a toilet, especially after going number two, it sprays like an aerosol into the air, and all of what you put into the toilet is now in the air and on everything in its general vicinity.
Right. That's true.
So I'm real germophobic. My mama was OCD, so I be thinking about things like that. So when you asked me that question, I didn't want to be wrong, but I was gonna say yes. I think the kitchen is dirtier than the bathroom because you can smell the evidence of the E. coli, salmonella, all this stuff that's being left in the bathroom. But if you have fresh meat that's not giving off the same aromatics, you might be, especially with not changing your dish rags, your sponges, stuff like that. Yes, cross contamination. You are spreading more germs in the kitchen than you do in a bathroom. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong.
Okay, okay. Now, Black Dahlia, do you have any final thoughts about this situation regarding the shaming of iconic legendary singer and fashion icon Diana Ross and her innocent children and her innocent grandchildren?
Um, I don't think that the onus is on Diana because she clearly knew what she was doing with her daughters. Her one biracial daughter Tracy Ellis Ross has chosen not to procreate, and her black daughter that she does have clearly understood the assignment that she is passing down the black mitochondrial DNA of her mother and her grandmother. I think if anybody is going to blame somebody, they should blame her sons that had that expensive education that Diana paid for them to get, and they didn't know that when they chose to have children with white mothers, that's the mitochondrial Eve DNA that they were going to be passing down. So if men want to be protectors, they should be protecting Diana Ross and not her sons for their ignorance.
Okay. So the final thoughts is, she needs more protection in her life. The people in her life should really try to, protect her from all of this fucking internet bullying shit. That's what it is. They're just talking shit about her from literally no reason.
I think she's probably getting backlash because of the fact that Tracy, her one biracial daughter, is telling the whole internet that she chose not to have kids and she don't want to date no old ass men with misogyny and they fucked up issues. So that's why she chooses younger men, because they got more stamina and they ain't got the baggage of them old ass men that's mad that she didn't let them knock her up.
Imagine a man saying, I'm not mad at Tracy. Let me say that right now. And these are my final thoughts. I'm not mad at Tracy about anything that she's doing. I couldn't imagine, and men do say this, so I can't imagine actually men saying something like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to have kids anymore. I don't want any responsibilities, none of that shit. I just want them young because they got stamina." AKA, you want a young, hard dick. The same way that these
Yes.
old niggas like Shannon
Yes.
Sharp wanted Gabriella Zuniga for her young, tight vagina, but all of the internet thought that fucking Shannon Sharp was basically a fucking PDF file. Definitely a predator. Beyond
He
saying.
was.
I haven't
'Cause
heard
she
those
Tracy,
videos about Tracy Ellis Ross.
but Tracy ain't talking about messing with 18, 19-year-old little boys. Because first of all, as a woman of her age, she's older than me. I personally couldn't see
Did she
her
specify age?
messing with. No, she didn't specify age, but I think she was talking about like the 30-something-year-old, not no 18-year-old. Men mess with younger women for like the same thing. Men mess with younger girls, little girls that are fresh out of high school for a totally different reason than women deal with younger men, especially now since science is coming out about men's andropause and these old sperm and what it does to a woman during their pregnancy and the baby because of their geriatric sperm. That it makes more sense for a woman to mess with a younger man than it does for a man to mess with a younger woman, especially knowing, based off of science, what we have learned this year with andropause. Nope. You're causing a male is causing more problems to the mother and the fetus by dishing out that geriatric sperm. Women's eggs don't deteriorate as much or as quickly as sperm does, which science has proven this year or within the past couple of years. But Tracy has not been linked to an 18, 19, 20-year-old, and she ain't had to pay out no 20 million because she clearly know what she doing.
I agree. But thank you, Black Diet, for pulling up on us. With that being said, I gotta go to bed because I gotta work in the morning. And to be up.
Okay.
I am tired.
So I was about to say, sorry, I wasn't trying to keep you here too long. We were just having a good conversation, but I hope that you have a great day at work tomorrow.
Likewise.
And enjoy the family.
Likewise, always do. All right, you have a good night, my lady.
You too. Thank you for having me up. Good night, everybody.
All right, good night. Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Peace.